and good morning. I'm Zach from Bulldog Talks, and we're here with Mr. McAlister, Chief of Bluffton Police. Now, could you tell us a little about your job and what types of responsibilities you have?
I can. My job is as Chief of the Bluffton Police Department. We have 40 officers on the force. My job is to hire them, train them, and make sure that they staff every day, conduct all investigations within the town of Bluffton. But overall, I have full public safety responsibilities for the town, whether that be through an emergency, a hurricane, anything like that, to any kind of crime that takes place. I'm overall responsible for the investigation. That doesn't necessarily mean I go out and do it. It means that I make sure that we get it done.
And can you tell us what type of training you have to go through to become part of the police department?
Well, to be a police officer, you have to attend a police academy here in South Carolina. That's in Columbia, South Carolina. So what you would do is you would apply to a police department, you'd get hired. We'd send you up to get trained. It's a 9-week academy. You'd come back, you'd spend another 6 months with us doing some on-the-job training, field training, things like that, learning the policies and procedures, at which point you'd be a fully functioning police officer.
Is there any extra training you have to do to become chief?
Well, first of all, you have to agree to accept the job, and that's hard enough to do. But yes, if you really want to be a chief, you obviously have to attend college. I have a 4-year degree, and I also have a master's degree, so you're going to have to go some additional education. And then usually it requires that you attend some additional management school, and there's only 3 of them in the country, one of which is the Southern Police Institute, which is what I attended. There's the FBI Academy and some other things that you can do, but usually it requires some other school like that.
Okay, and I can imagine this is a very hard job, but could you tell us what you think the very hardest part of your job is?
The hardest part of my job, as chief or just as a police officer? Which would you like? Both. Okay. Well, the hardest part of my job as a police officer is probably dealing with victims of violent crime and having to explain to them that maybe a loved one had passed away either through some sort of criminal activity or a car accident or something like that. That's very, very difficult to have to deliver that news, and there's really no good way to do it. As chief, the hardest part of my job is essentially managing the every day, every night, middle of the night, you have a sense of responsibility for what happens in this town. And so the hardest part of my job is to make sure that I can put my job aside for a little while and spend some quality time with my family and not worry about what's happening with everybody else's family.
Do you ever sometimes feel that your work is getting away with you spending time with your family?
Yeah. Yes. Prior to this job, I was a police officer in a force that had a total of 800 employees. And I worked day and night, usually 7 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, and usually on the weekends too. And so, you had to balance that. One of the enjoyable parts of this job here in Bluffton is that it's a little smaller, a little slower pace, so I can have some more time to spend with my family and get them involved.
When you were a child, did you ever think that you would be a policeman? Is that what your dream was?
Well, my dream was actually to be Superman, but it turns out I can't fly, so that didn't work out so well for me. Batman was already taken, so actually I either wanted to be in the Army or in the police force.
And if you had to switch jobs with someone out for you, what job would you choose?
Professional chef in a restaurant. I love to cook, as you can tell, and so it's fun for me and it's relaxing.
Hey, and one final question. What advice would you have for children that may want to grow up and be a policeman?
Well, the advice I would give you is you have to stay in school, you have to go to college. Today's police officers are tasked with some really critical thinking, problem solving. You must get your education. It is critical. So I would encourage everybody to go to college.
Thank you. This has been Zach on Bulldog Talks with Chief McAlister. See you next time.